Let's start with Mercury. Mercury has no moons. 0. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun, orbiting just 36 million miles from it. That is incredibly close. When a planet is so close to the Sun's gravity is too strong. Any moon that came near Mercury would either crash into the planet or get pulled toward the Sun instead. Mercury's gravity is not strong enough to hold onto a satellite, so Mercury travels through space completely alone. It is one of only 2 planets with no moons at all. Next is Venus. Venus also has no moons. Scientists are not entirely sure why. Venus is actually similar in size to Earth. It has about the same gravity. So theoretically, Venus should have been able to capture a moon. But something about the early solar system prevented it. Maybe any moons that could have formed around Venus got pulled toward the Sun. Maybe they collided with something else. Or maybe Venus was unlucky in the cosmic lottery. Whatever the reason, Venus remains the second planet without any moons. It is a lonely world orbiting the Sun. Now we get to Earth. Our planet has 1 moon, and it is the 5th largest moon in the entire solar system. Our moon is 2,159 miles in diameter. That is about the size of the continental United States stretched across a sphere. The moon orbits Earth at a distance of about 239,000 miles away. If you put 30 Earths in a line between us and the moon, they would stretch about that far. The moon's surface is extreme. In sunlight, it bakes at 260 degrees Fahrenheit. In shadow, it plummets to minus 280 degrees. This wild temperature swing happens because the moon has no atmosphere to spread the heat around. The surface goes from scorching hot to deadly cold, depending on whether the sun is shining. Our moon is slowly moving away from us. It drifts about 1.5 inches further every year. This is the same speed your fingernails grow. The moon was closer to Earth billions of years ago. Over billions of years in the future, it will continue moving away. Scientists believe the moon formed about 4.5 billion years ago when a Mars-sized object crashed into Earth. The debris from that collision combined and formed our moon. Mars is next. Mars has 2 moons. Both are tiny and probably used to be asteroids that Mars captured with its gravity. The first moon is called Phobos. Phobos is only about 17 miles across. This moon orbits Mars very quickly, faster than Mars spins on its axis. This means if you stood on Mars, you would see Phobos rise in the west and set in the east. That is backwards from Earth. The unusual part is that Phobos orbits just 3,726 miles above Mars's surface. That is incredibly close. For comparison, the International Space Station orbits about 250 miles above Earth. Phobos orbits about 15 times closer than that. Phobos has a problem, though. It is spiraling toward Mars. The tidal forces from Mars are pulling it closer. Every year, Phobos moves about 0.79 inches closer to Mars. Eventually, in about 20 to 40 million years, Phobos will reach a point called the Roche limit. At this point, Mars's gravity will be so strong that it will tear Phobos apart. The moon will break into millions of pieces. These pieces will spread out and form a ring around Mars. Mars will have rings just like Saturn does today, but the ring will be very dark because it will be made of rocky dust, not bright ice. The ring will last between 1 to 100 million years before all the dust falls onto Mars. The second moon is called Deimos. Deimos is even smaller than Phobos, only about 9 miles across. Deimos orbits much further away from Mars. It is safe. Deimos will never be torn apart by Mars's gravity. Deimos will orbit peacefully for billions of years. Now we move to Jupiter. Jupiter has 97 moons. That is a lot of moons. Most of these moons are very small, but Jupiter also has 4 giant moons that are absolutely remarkable. The first giant moon is Ganymede. Ganymede is the largest moon in the entire solar system. It is bigger than the planet Mercury. Ganymede is 3,275 miles across. That is nearly as wide as the continental United States. Ganymede is the only moon in our solar system that has its own magnetic field. This means Ganymede creates auroras, those beautiful light shows of colorful lights, just like Earth does. Beneath Ganymede's icy surface lies a massive ocean of liquid water. Scientists believe this ocean holds more fresh water than all the oceans on Earth combined. The water is kept liquid by tidal heating. Jupiter's massive gravity constantly pulls and squeezes Ganymede. This friction generates heat inside the moon. Ganymede has a thin oxygen atmosphere around it. When you put all of this together, Ganymede is essentially its own world. The second giant moon is Callisto. Callisto is 3,000 miles across. What makes Callisto special is that it has the most heavily cratered surface of any moon in our solar system. The entire surface is covered in impact craters from billions of years of asteroids and space rocks smashing into it. The craters are packed so closely together that they overlap. The surface tells the story of violent cosmic history, all frozen in ice and rock. Callisto has not changed much for billions of years. It is geologically quiet. The third giant moon is Europa. Europa is 1,940 miles across. It has an icy surface covered in cracks. Those cracks are red streaks caused by the powerful gravity of Jupiter pulling and stretching the surface. Beneath Europa's ice shell lies something extraordinary. There is a global ocean of liquid water. Some scientists think the ocean might be deeper than Earth's deepest oceans. The ice shell is between 3 and 30 kilometers thick. Below that is liquid water that may be more than 100 kilometers deep. The water is heated by tidal forces from Jupiter's gravity. The Hubble Space Telescope has detected water plumes shooting from cracks in the ice into space. NASA is planning to send a spacecraft called Europa Clipper to study this moon. If life exists anywhere else in our solar system, Europa's hidden ocean is one of the best places to look. The fourth giant moon is Io. Io is 2,260 miles across, about the same size as Earth's moon. But here is what makes Io absolutely insane. Io has more active volcanoes than any other world in our solar system. Scientists have found about 400 active volcanoes. These are not dormant or sleeping volcanoes. They are erupting right now. Volcanic plumes shoot up 300 miles high. Some plumes reach even higher. The surface of Io is constantly changing and reshaping itself. New lava flows appear regularly. The mountains can collapse and reform. The reason Io is so volcanically active is tidal heating. Jupiter's massive gravity pulls and squeezes Io. The different moons around Jupiter also pull on Io. All of this constant squeezing and pulling generates enormous amounts of heat inside Io. The interior becomes so hot that rock melts and forms lava. The surface of Io is painted yellow, red, orange, and white from sulfur compounds. There are mountains on Io that are taller than Mount Everest. Some mountains are stacked thousands of miles high. The Io Volcano Observer mission is being planned to study Io's incredible volcanism. Saturn is next, and this is where things get crazy. Saturn has 274 moons. That is nearly 3 times the number of Jupiter's moons. Saturn has more moons than any other planet in our solar system. Astronomers just discovered 128 new Saturn moons in March 2025. These newly found moons are small, only about 2 to 4 kilometers in diameter. They are probably small rocks that broke off from larger moons billions of years ago. The moons might also have been captured from space. Scientists use powerful telescopes and special computer imaging to find these tiny moons. It is like looking for specks of dust floating in space. Most of Saturn's moons are small, but a few are absolutely extraordinary. Titan is Saturn's largest moon. It is 3,200 miles across, making it the second largest moon in our entire solar system. Titan is bizarre because it is the only moon with a thick atmosphere. The atmosphere is mostly nitrogen, which is the same element that makes up most of Earth's air. The atmospheric pressure on Titan is 1.5 times Earth's atmospheric pressure. Titan has clouds and rain. But the rain is not water. It is liquid methane and ethane falling from the sky. Titan has lakes and seas on its surface filled with these liquid hydrocarbons. The largest sea on Titan is called Kraken Mare. It is bigger than Lake Superior on Earth. Another major sea is called Ligeia Mare. These seas are located near the north and south poles of Titan. Smaller lakes dot the polar regions. There is an actual hydrological cycle on Titan, just like Earth's water cycle, except it uses methane instead of water. Methane evaporates from the liquid bodies. It rises into the atmosphere. It forms clouds. Rain falls. The methane flows back into the seas. Beneath the surface, there is a warm ocean of liquid water mixed with ammonia. This subsurface ocean may have more liquid water than all the oceans on Earth. Scientists think Titan is one of the most interesting places in our solar system. When NASA sends the Dragonfly spacecraft there in 2034, we will finally see Titan up close for the first time. Enceladus is another Saturn moon that is amazing. Enceladus is small, only about 310 miles across. But this little moon is shooting water into space. Scientists have found more than 100 active geysers at Enceladus's south pole. The water shoots out at 800 miles per hour. Some scientists call these water fountains or ice geysers. This water comes from a global subsurface ocean that lies beneath Enceladus's icy crust. The ocean is in contact with rock below, which creates hydrothermal vents. These are the same kind of vents where life thrives in Earth's deepest oceans. At these vents on Earth, hot water mixed with chemicals from Earth's crust supports ecosystems of bacteria and other organisms that do not need sunlight. They survive off the chemicals in the water. The water from Enceladus's vents contains molecular hydrogen, a chemical that can provide energy. It also contains methane, ammonia, and salts. The water has a pH of 11 or 12, which is very alkaline, like soapy water. When the Cassini spacecraft flew through Enceladus's water plumes, it detected organic chemicals and salts. These are the building blocks for life. The temperatures deep in Enceladus's ocean may reach 194 degrees Fahrenheit or higher near the hydrothermal vents. This combination of liquid water, chemicals, and energy makes Enceladus one of the best places in our solar system to search for life. Mimas is another Saturn moon with a notable feature. Mimas has one enormous crater on its surface. The crater is so big and round that Mimas looks like the Death Star from Star Wars. The crater is about 80 miles across. It is called Herschel Crater. Scientists think a giant asteroid or comet smashed into Mimas billions of years ago and left this incredible scar. The impact was so powerful that it nearly destroyed the entire moon. Uranus is the next planet. Uranus has 28 moons. Uranus is tilted on its side at an angle of 98 degrees. Its north pole actually points downward towards space in an unusual way. Scientists think a giant object may have collided with Uranus billions of years ago and knocked it over. All of Uranus's moons orbit around this tilted planet. The moons are named after characters from Shakespeare's plays and other literature. 5 of Uranus's moons are large and special. They are called the major moons. Miranda is one of the most unusual moons in our solar system. Miranda has the strangest surface you can imagine. It looks like someone took a moon, smashed it into pieces, and glued it back together wrong. The surface is chaotic, with giant cliffs, grooves, and craters scattered everywhere in no clear pattern. It looks like a quilted patchwork. Some cliffs on Miranda are so tall that they make Earth's Grand Canyon look small. The cliffs are thought to be caused by past tidal heating that cracked the moon apart. Recently, scientists discovered something extraordinary about Miranda. Miranda might have had a subsurface ocean. Not right now, but in the past, maybe 100 to 500 million years ago. The ocean might have been 100 kilometers deep. Tidal heating from nearby moons may have kept the water warm. If that is true, Miranda went from being a boring dead rock to one of the most interesting moons in our solar system. The tidal heating came from the gravitational pull between Miranda and nearby Ariel and Umbriel. Titania is Uranus's largest moon. It is 1,578 kilometers in diameter. Titania is an icy world covered in cratered terrain. It is covered in craters from billions of years of asteroid impacts. Oberon is another large moon of Uranus. It is slightly smaller than Titania at 1,523 kilometers in diameter. Both Titania and Oberon orbit in extreme cold, where temperatures drop to minus 324 degrees Fahrenheit. These are frozen, icy worlds with little change on their surfaces. Umbriel and Ariel are 2 more major moons of Uranus. They are also icy and cratered. Umbriel has an especially dark surface. Ariel has many canyons and rifts that suggest past geological activity. Neptune is next. Neptune has 16 moons. Neptune is extremely cold and windy. The planet experiences the strongest winds in the solar system. The most famous Neptunian moon is Triton. Triton is 1,681 miles across. Triton is remarkable for one reason. It orbits Neptune backwards. We call this a retrograde orbit. Triton does not orbit the way most moons do. Scientists think Triton was not born orbiting Neptune. Instead, it was a dwarf planet in the Kuiper Belt far from the Sun. Neptune's gravity captured Triton and pulled it into orbit. Being captured from outside changed Triton's fate. Triton has active nitrogen geysers on its surface. These geysers shoot nitrogen gas thousands of miles into space. The ice on Triton is pink and green from exotic frozen chemicals like methane, water, and ammonia. Triton is slowly spiraling toward Neptune. In a few billion years, Neptune's gravity will tear Triton apart. This process is similar to what is happening to Phobos at Mars. When Triton is torn apart, Neptune will gain its own ring system. It will look something like Saturn does today. When that happens, Neptune will have one of the most spectacular appearances of any planet. Finally, let's look at Pluto, the dwarf planet far from the Sun beyond Neptune. Pluto has 5 moons. Pluto is actually smaller than Earth's moon. Pluto is only 1,413 miles in diameter. The largest moon of Pluto is Charon. Charon is unusual because it is half the size of Pluto. Charon is 746 miles in diameter. This makes them almost equal in size. They orbit each other like dance partners. Pluto and Charon always show the same face to each other, locked in a gravitational embrace. Scientists call Pluto and Charon a binary system because they are so close in size. The other 4 moons of Pluto are tiny. Styx, Nix, Kerberos, and Hydra are all small rocks ranging from about 20 to 35 miles across. We only know about these moons because the New Horizons spacecraft flew past Pluto in 2015 and took detailed photographs. Before that mission, we did not even know these small moons existed. So, from Mercury's empty space to Saturn's 274 moons, our solar system is filled with incredible worlds. If you learned something wild about these cosmic moons, please like this video and subscribe for more mind-blowing space facts.